Why Schopenhauer believed women's loyalty is always for sale. You believe in unconditional loyalty, don't you? In a sacred bond of unwavering devotion, freely given, eternally true. You commit your heart, your energy, your resources, your very future to a woman, trusting her fidelity, her commitment, her deep affection are as absolute and as self-sacrificing as your own. You imagine loyalty as a priceless treasure, earned by your unwavering love and intrinsic worth, something that could never be quantified or exchanged. But what if this cherished ideal, this profound belief in absolute, unbought loyalty, is a fundamental delusion? What if, as the profoundly pessimistic yet terrifyingly insightful philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer grimly revealed, women's loyalty, at its deepest, most unconscious level, is always, fundamentally, for sale? Not in a crude transactional sense that implies malice or conscious avarice, but in a profound biological and existential sense that views it as an exchange for something far more primal than mere affection. This is not a cynical dismissal of all affection or a bitter condemnation of women. It is a stark, uncomfortable unveiling of a fundamental, biological and psychological dynamic that, once understood, can shatter your romantic illusions and leave you with a haunting clarity. It is an invitation to strip away the comforting veneer of idealized love and confront a brutal truth that, according to Schopenhauer, lies at the heart of human relationships. Until you grasp this inherent transactional nature, this unconscious imperative, you will remain a captive of your own illusion, perpetually vulnerable to forces you cannot comprehend, and forever bewildered by why devotion alone fails to secure unwavering fidelity. Schopenhauer's will to life, the primal accountant. To comprehend this unsettling revelation, we must once more immerse ourselves in the chilling core of Arthur Schopenhauer's philosophy, the will to life. For Schopenhauer, the entire universe is governed by a blind, irrational, ceaseless, and insatiable striving force, the will to life. In the context of human relationships, this is more precisely the will to reproduction, a primordial, unconscious urge that drives all existence, including sexual love and attraction. Its ultimate, singular purpose is its own propagation, the endless continuation of the species, utterly indifferent to the happiness or suffering of the individual. Here, Schopenhauer delivers his profound blow to romantic idealism. Sexual love, the very passion you feel, is nothing more than the will to life manifesting itself in its most cunning and deceptive form. It is not a beautiful, unique connection for personal fulfillment. Instead, it is the species, will using individuals as mere instruments, unwitting pawns, to achieve its blind, reproductive ends. The intoxicating feeling of romantic love, intense attraction, and finding your soulmate, these are exquisitely crafted illusions, powerful narcotics administered by the will to ensure propagation. You believe you are choosing her because of her unique qualities. Schopenhauer would assert your conscious reasons are mere rationalizations for a deeper, unconscious imperative. The will is interested only in optimal offspring. It manipulates your desires, your perception of beauty and destiny to ensure optimal genetic pairing. You are a wingless creature, crawling in circles, believing your ardent chase is for a unique feather, never realizing you are merely fulfilling the species' biological imperative to fly. Irrespective of your personal desires, your pursuit is driven by a hidden puppeteer. What true benevolence can you expect from a force whose singular goal is relentless propagation, and whose methods involve manipulation of your deepest desires? What freedom exists in a pursuit of love, where loyalty is merely a component in a species-level transaction? This understanding is the cornerstone of Schopenhauer's chilling insight. Love, as we experience it, is a grand deception, played by nature upon the individual, for the sake of the species, and loyalty is merely a variable in this cold calculation. The male delusion, buying the dream. Before fully dissecting why female loyalty is for sale, we must grasp how men are fundamentally deluded by the will, making them profoundly vulnerable to this truth. For men, according to Schopenhauer, love manifests as an overwhelming, irrational, and highly specific drive towards a particular woman. You are ensnared by the species' will, with fierce, obsessive intensity. You see her as unique, irreplaceable, the singular key to your happiness. Your desire is focused, powerful, leading to intense, self-sacrificial pursuit or willingness to give all. You become a soldier seduced by the shimmer of his enemy's blade, believing it a glorious prize, never realizing it's an instrument for a purpose far removed from your personal well-being. This profound longing, this romantic idealization, compels you to overcome obstacles, to dedicate immense resources, time, money, effort, emotional energy all in singular pursuit of her. You are compelled to protect, provide, and impress, because the will has implanted the illusion that your individual happiness is inextricably linked to possessing this specific woman. You are conditioned to believe that you are buying her love, and, with it, her unconditional loyalty, through your ceaseless provision and devotion. This is why men often idealize. This is why rejection feels existential. This is why men pursue endlessly, often against better judgment, driven by biological imperative disguised as personal desire. The will uses your passionate longing to focus your resources on one optimal genetic pairing. It blinds you, makes you overlook flaws, imbuing the chosen woman with divine significance, ensuring your complete dedication to the reproductive imperative. Your capacity for profound individual love is hijacked and weaponized against your personal freedom. What freedom exists in a desire so potent it feels like destiny, but is merely a biological mandate? What joy is found in a chase where you perpetually invest in a dream of unconditional loyalty that, by its very nature, is subject to a different set of rules? Schopenhauer argued the male is thus profoundly duped by the will, driven by powerful illusion to propagate, mistaking this drive for ultimate personal love and unconditional fidelity. This delusion makes him the perfect buyer for loyalty that is, in fact, merely leased. The female imperative, the will's custodian of resources. Here is Schopenhauer's shocking reason why he believed women's loyalty is always, fundamentally, for sale. It lies in his perception of the female imperative within the framework of the will to life. While the man is manipulated by the will through idealized romantic love, the woman, Schopenhauer contended, is the will's more direct, pragmatic, and utterly unconscious instrument. Her attraction and love are fundamentally strategic, focused on securing the best possible conditions for future offspring, rather than personally idealizing the man himself. Her focus, driven by the species' will, keenly assesses what the man represents for the lineage. Is he capable of providing resources and security? Is he strong and healthy? Does he possess good genes? Is he stable, reliable, socially capable? Her loyalty is more conditional, practical, and less personally focused. It evaluates and selects based on criteria serving the species' survival. Her loyalty, in essence, is to the provision and security you offer for the sake of the species' continuation. It is to the resources, not unconditionally to the provider. Schopenhauer went further, asserting that women possess an innate moral instinct for dissimulation, deception, in these matters not out of malice, but necessity for species survival. Nature endowed them with intuitive prudence and cunning, a natural bent for deception that allows them to select the most advantageous mate. They are, in his view, the architects of the species' future, using their intuition and desirability to ensure optimal pairings. This is where the for sale aspect becomes clear. Her loyalty is a contractual arrangement with the will, honored as long as the man continues to provide the most optimal resources and conditions for the species' agenda. If a better deal becomes available, that loyalty, from the will's perspective, is transferable. What crushing disillusionment awaits the man who believes he is loved for his unique soul, when he is primarily valued for his utility as a contributor and protector for a future serving the species, not his personal romance? What reciprocity exists when one loves with a selfless, personal ideal and the other with a pragmatic, species-driven calculus, seeing the individual as a means to an end? This is the heart of Schopenhauer's haunting revelation. the fundamental asymmetry of love, where one is consumed by illusion and the other is the clever, unconscious instrument whose loyalty is perpetually conditional on optimizing the species' interests. The price tag of loyalty. What is for sale? What precisely constitutes the price for this loyalty, according to Schopenhauer? It encompasses a broad spectrum of what the man provides for the species' benefit. The primary currency is security and provision. This includes financial stability, material comfort, and protection. A man's ability to reliably secure resources is paramount. Schopenhauer noted that women are prone to extravagance, seeing men as existing to earn money for them. Her loyalty is secured by consistent delivery of a comfortable, secure existence for herself and offspring. Beyond material provision, it includes social standing and status. Leveraging a man's position in society, his reputation, and his influence provides valuable advantage for children's future. Her loyalty can be unconsciously tied to the social benefits a man confers. Crucially, it extends to genetic fitness. Her unconscious loyalty is to the best biological assets for future generation strength, health, intelligence. If a man's genetic suitability wanes, his value from the will's perspective diminishes, and with it, the foundation for that conditional loyalty. Finally, it involves comfort and ease. The species will seek to propagate life under favorable conditions. This translates to a woman's unconscious drive to minimize hardship and maximize comfort. A man's ability to provide a life free from unnecessary struggle, to absorb stress, and to facilitate a smooth existence is part of the price for her loyalty. What true love exists when fidelity is implicitly contingent on a man's continuous delivery of a superior package of security, resources, and genetic suitability? What spiritual emptiness comes from endlessly striving to meet an unarticulated price tag, only to find the terms of the sale can perpetually change? This inherent transactionalism means a man who believes he is loved unconditionally is vulnerable to having his contract implicitly re-evaluated based on the will's relentless pursuit of better options. The cost to the man: financial depletion and spiritual disillusionment. Failure to recognize this shocking truth, this underlying transactional nature of loyalty, exacts a severe emotional, financial, and existential toll on men. They are left in confusion, frustration, and profound unfulfillment. Firstly, there is the relentless financial depletion. Men are driven by the will's illusion to constantly provide more, achieve more, and expand resources in a never-ending effort to prove worth and secure loyalty. This leads to perpetual striving, financial strain, and often debt, as they chase an ever-moving price tag. They sacrifice their own financial freedom for conditional loyalty. You are a wingless creature, compelled to pour endless resources into a bottomless well. Secondly, there is the corrosive feeling of being used or unseen, leading to spiritual disillusionment. Men feel their efforts and sacrifices are leveraged, yet their longing for reciprocal, idealized love remains unmet. They feel like a resource, a tool, a means to an end, not a uniquely cherished individual. This leads to quiet resentment, a sense of being shortchanged, because they believe they play a different game personal connection versus strategic propagation. Thirdly, there is the spiral into bitterness and cynicism. When idealistic love clashes with pragmatic reality, men become deeply disillusioned. They may retreat from relationships, convinced love is a lie, or women are manipulative when it's unconscious strategy, or their capacity for deep affection is a burden. This cynicism, born of shattered illusions, poisons future connection. Finally, there is the loss of self-sovereignty. The will's illusion and transactional nature compel men to chase elusive reciprocity in different partners, never understanding the fundamental asymmetry. This Sisyphusian task guarantees unfulfillment and profound loss of personal agency, as his life is dictated by unexamined pursuit. He builds a shrine to confusion, sacrificing himself on the altar of manufactured reciprocity and purchased loyalty. What existential loneliness is more profound than believing you are deeply loved? only to realize love received is fundamentally different in purpose from love offered. What psychological damage is inflicted by a life spent endlessly paying a price for a loyalty that is perpetually for sale? The unexamined nature of love, as Schopenhauer revealed, leads men into a profound emotional and spiritual quagmire, their deepest longings tragically misdirected. Breaking the transaction, radical disillusionment, and self-sovereignty. How does one disarm this hidden weapon? How does a man escape the tyranny of the will, this haunting deception, this perpetual transaction of loyalty? Schopenhauer, being a pessimist, offered a grim yet intellectually liberating path: radical disillusionment. True freedom from the will's suffering comes from understanding its mechanism and deliberately detaching from its influence. His solutions were intellectual, gaining knowledge of the will's true nature through philosophy, seeing through its deceptions. For the modern man, his core insight provides a powerful pathway to self-sovereignty. The power lies in knowing the truth, however painful. This means developing profound intellectual detachment from romantic illusions. It's not becoming emotionally cold, but seeing loyalty for what it is: a powerful, deceptive drive orchestrated by the species' will, which views it as a strategic commodity. This radical disillusionment is not easy. It's the terrifying act of pulling back the veil, seeing the puppeteer. It means accepting your intense, idealized love is a unique male burden, and expecting an exact mirror of unconditional loyalty leads to disappointment. It means understanding her loyalty, while genuine, often operates on a different, pragmatic frequency. This is the courage to embrace uncomfortable truth over comforting lies. This intellectual clarity is your shield against unconscious manipulation, allowing you to see the true nature of the contract and disarm its power over you. What freedom can you claim if ensnared by illusion causing endless suffering? What genuine connection can you forge if you refuse to understand the true nature of forces at play? The strategic forces viewing loyalty as a commodity. The path to breaking the spell is the path of knowledge, however bitter its taste, leading to profound self-sovereignty. The sovereign man's unbought spirit, choosing conscious connection. What does this haunting revelation mean for modern men seeking love? It means shifting your paradigm from the romantic ideal of perfectly unconditional loyalty to a grounded, honest understanding of its true nature. It means reclaiming your own sovereignty, not by abandoning love, but by approaching it with clear eyes and profound self-awareness. Firstly, cultivate radical self-possession and purpose independent of her. Stop making her the sole vessel for your fulfillment. Anchor your life in your own mission, values, and creative endeavors. When you pursue your own purpose and self-authorship, your attraction becomes magnetic, not needy. This is the man who embodies sovereignty, drawing others in, not desperately chasing, effectively neutralizing the leverage of conditional loyalty. Secondly, redefine reciprocity not as identical feeling or unconditional allegiance, but as mutual respect and shared, conscious purpose. Acknowledge her loyalty, while perhaps not your idealized fervor, can be genuine and valuable for its own purpose. Seek a partner who respects your sovereignty, shares your values, contributes meaningfully to a life you build, and appreciates you for who you are, not what you provide. This is a conscious choice for partnership based on tangible alignment and mutual contribution, not a phantom ideal. Thirdly, embrace disillusionment as liberation. Recognizing loyalty as a biological imperative doesn't diminish all affection, but strips away its painful illusions of absolute devotion. This allows engagement with open eyes, understanding underlying currents, protecting you from profound heartbreak. Appreciate the experience without being enslaved by deceptive promises of perfect mirroring. This intellectual clarity is your shield against the hidden transaction. Finally, direct your intense capacity for love, that profound masculine yearning, not solely towards a single individual, but also towards creative pursuits, philosophical inquiry, self-mastery, and contribution to the world. Channel immense energy into building a life of purpose and meaning, independent of external validation. When your deepest love is for your own becoming, truth, and contribution, Your interactions with others come from abundance, not desperate need. You become immune to attempts to purchase loyalty. The path beyond Schopenhauer's haunting revelation to understanding why women's loyalty is always for sale is not cynical isolation, but radical self-awareness and courageous redefinition of love. It demands you shed romantic illusions that kept you enslaved to a false promise of perfect reciprocity. It requires you to understand the will's game and refuse to be its pawn. Will you continue to chase the illusion of unconditional loyalty, perpetually seeking reciprocity that is, by nature, unachievable, leading to endless frustration and disillusionment? Will you remain a wingless creature, caught in the will's deceptive currents, a mere instrument for its strategic agenda, perpetually paying for what you believe is freely given? Or will you have the immense courage to look upon Schopenhauer's chilling revelation with clear eyes, to dismantle the comforting myths that bind you, to step into the terrifying, yet infinitely rewarding, work of truly knowing yourself, owning yourself, and embodying your full, integrated, sovereign power, so that you attract not a user of love, but a true partner in life, one based on conscious respect, even in the face of nature's grand strategy and its inherent transactionalism. Her loyalty, Schopenhauer warned, is always for sale, but your spirit is not. Reclaim it.